family. So, on this video, we'll be learning more about love. What is love? The first thing that comes to mind when we begin to talk about love is, you know, the first thing that comes to the mind of the majority is emotions, which is not necessarily wrong, but when we want to allocate love to emotions, what do we mean? Because at the construct, the basic construct, basic structure, the basic foundation of love lies selflessness. Selflessness. So, what is selflessness? Um, I wrote here that I'm going to read what I wrote for you. Now, selflessness is basically any strategic action taken to meet the needs of others. Let me repeat that. Any strategic action taken to meet the needs of others. Okay. So basically, whatever you do that is directed towards solving the problems of other people, people other than yourself. That's the underlying definition I gave to selflessness. You can look it up in dictionary. Now, I also wrote here that selflessness exists in two realities, or what we call phases, and true love is seen in exhibiting both simultaneously. So, true love is basically exhibiting love in these two realities. So, we will talk about it more. What are these two realities that selflessness exists in? What are these two phases that represent or that can be used to portray selflessness? Next slide. Now, the two realities, as I wrote down here on my slide, is the interior man and the exterior man. What do I mean by the interior man and the exterior man? Most of us must be used to this type of analogies. So you must have heard that the interior man, or if you've not heard it before, I'm telling you now, the interior man is same as talking about the soul of a person. And then the exterior man is talking about the body. So in my explanation, the interior man being used here is relating to the soul, and the exterior man, the body. So follow me. Why did I say selflessness can be exhibited in these two realities? Should be exhibited in these two realities, unless it fulfills these two conditions. It should not be called love. In fact, it cannot be called love. So many people, which we're going to explain further, because this video is entirely about love and actually putting yourself in that place where you perform love in its fullness. I believe the sole proprietorship or the sole purpose of man is to perfect love in whatever you're doing, whatever your talent is, and whatever you're called to do. It should be portrayed or presented perfectly in love. So that's what we're trying to aim with this video, trying to teach people about what love is so they can better express it in their day-to-day living. So follow me. Um, how do people express love? 90% of people don't even know what love is. They're not doing it, whether it's aside, because I'm about going into telling you how some people express it in the body, how people express love bodily, but it's absent in the interior man. Meaning they express love exteriorly, but it's absent interiorly. It's not they're not it's not coming from their hearts. Yes, it's not coming from their intent. Their intent are not aligning with their body. We'll get into it in detail so you understand more. But some people are 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 expressing perverted love and they think it's love. Now, how you can test it is check the feelings you're having or the actions you are making. Feelings or actions. Remember, interior man or exterior man. Is it directed towards helping others, or is it simply you trying to fulfill a desire you have? And it may not even be a bad desire, but the idea of love is not fulfilling your good desires or your bad desires, it's fulfilling the desires of others. Now, yes, it's also selfless to fulfill the bad desires of others because you are not doing it for yourself. I don't think that's possible, Sha. There's a lot of people who, for you to fulfill, let's say somebody wants to kill an individual, if you go ahead and then help the person towards doing that, you must definitely have an agenda or something to gain from it. So I would give it to you. The true definition of love is doing something good to others, like solving a problem in the life of others, some a good problem. So that's the definition. It's a very deep school of thought, but let's keep going. So I have a scripture for us. I would explain this entirely. So this is First Corinthians 13, and the it may appear really small. The text may appear really small to some people, but I'm going to be reading it. If you can read it, you can also join me and read along. So, but before I start reading, let me just give like an overview. So, in First Corinthians 13, the Apostle Paul was teaching the Apostle Paul, and he was making a very, very daring statement. Yeah, he started giving a list of things that people do and think they're actually in love, performing love. I'm going to read it, and I'll be explaining as we're going through. It's going to be promised to be quick. So, but you're going to see that he's talking about characteristics or physical outward behaviors that appear to be selfless. But then he's saying you can do these things and still lack charity. If you go to the Greek presentation, the Greek rendering of the word charity here, it means love. So do not be confused. We're still talking about the same thing. Okay, so if you go to the Greek, it's still talking about love. So he's saying you can do these actions, which are clearly we can see from the surface love actions, love inspired actions. And he said you can do these things and at the end of the day still not have love. So the first time I went through this book in the Bible, this chapter, it was really confusing. I was like, what's your point? Where are you getting at? Are these things not love on its own? He talked about speaking in tongues of angels. He talked about giving your body, offering your body as a sacrifice, or giving your body to be burnt for people. Talks about giving to the poor. These things tells us about love. These are selfless actions. So how come you're saying these people can do these things and still not have love? So we're going to understand what he's talking about, and you're going to see how it relates back to the interior man and the exterior man and bringing them to a balance. And that is when we can actually say you have performed love or you are living and walking in love. So let's read quickly. Now, chapter verse 1, First Corinthians 13, verse 1. It says, though I speak with the tongues of men and of angels and have not charity, I am become as sounding brass or a tinkling cymbal, meaning I have no substance, I am creating no effect. Verse 2, and though I have the gift of prophecy and understandeth all mysteries and all knowledge, and though I have all faith, faith I know is a divine thing, is a selfless thing, is a virtuous thing. So I'm still trying to understand, but let's continue. So that I could remove mountains and have not charity, he said, I am nothing. Verse 3, he says, and though I bestow all my goods to feed the poor, selfless action, you're minusing from yourself and adding to others. And though I give my body, now I want you to note the word body there, to be burned and have not charity, it profited me nothing. So charity, now started explaining what charity does. So I told you first to note the word body. Now let's see what charity does. It said, charity suffereth long and is kind. Charity envied not. Charity vaunted not itself. It's not puffed up. Doth not behave itself unseemly. Seeketh not her own. Is not easily provoked. Thinketh no evil. So the second word I want you to hold there is thinketh. Thinketh. So I want you to go back. The first one says, let's go back together. The first one says, although I give my body, the first thing I said you should notice is body. So even if I give my body to be burned, he said, and I have no love, then it's wrong. Like it's of no effect. And now he's saying what that love he's talking about is. It means that love thinketh no evil. Now, for all those who are not following, what it means is you can give your body to be burned, you can give to the poor, you can do a lot of these physical, visible actions the things that are visible to people, and still be thinking evil. Apostle Paul said, if you are such a person, you are not exhibiting love, you're just wasting your time. An example is there are a lot of people, an example we can relate with. There are a lot of people who may want to give from ego. They may want to prove that, okay, I want to show I can give, or I want to show that I'm the reigning man in town. So it's not coming from the desire to meet the needs of people. It's coming from the desire to satisfy his ego, to prove that he's on ground. A lot of examples. Some people may even be giving from the point of wanting something in return, from the point of lust, from the point of pride. They even giving from the point of anger. You were forced to give. So Apostle Paul here is saying that your heart, your intent must align. The interior man and the exterior man must be doing the same thing before it is called love. I don't know if you're following. Let's finish reading. I believe I stopped at verses 5. So verse 6, rejoice not in iniquity, but rejoice in the truth. Still talking about what charity does. Beareth all things, believeth all things, hopeth all things. There are many Christians that don't believe all things, but that's another topic for another day. Endureth all things. Verses 8, charity never faileth. But whether they be prophecies, whether they shall fail, whether they be tongues, they shall cease, whether they be knowledge, it shall vanish away. For we know in part and we prophesy in part. This verse 8 I just finished reading is very deep, like holds a lot of secrets to it. When we are checking, when we are weighing virtues, it's saying that the highest is love. We'll get to that while I'm closing the video, which is soon. But let's just finish reading this chapter. But when that which is perfect is come, then that which is in part shall be done away. Verses 11. When I was a child, I spake as a child, I understood as a child, I taught as a child. But when I became a man, I put away childish things. For now we see through a glass darkly, but then face to face. Now I know in part, but then shall I know even as also I am known. He's talking about at the moment you begin to perform love in its perfect state. The moment you begin to exhibit love wholly. This is why he used the word part there. He said now, he's explaining the first type of man he talked about, who just speaks in tongues, gives to the poor, but his heart is absent. That man knows in part. That man, he sees through a glass darkly. But when he begins to exhibit the two, when his soul and his body is aligned to love, to what God is entirely, he says this man becomes whole. This man sees face to face. And then he said, then shall I know even as also I am known. See, there are a lot of believers who, because remember, I've been talking about doing it in the body but not doing it in the soul. There are a lot of people who are doing it in the soul but they're not doing it in the body. There's this sect of Christians that believe all it takes is to believe, which is true according to scriptures. Yeah, believe and you are saved. Yes, but the Bible is telling us that until that believing translates to your bodily experience, you still know in part. Clearly stated here. But let's keep going on. The final verse says, "And now abided faith, hope, charity, these three, but the greatest of these is charity." So that brings us to the end of this video. So I want to quickly share something with us, like I promised, concerning why charity is above all. So, hope you can see me plainly here. Let me look straight to the camera. So, in the coming days, there are prophecies has been going wild on the internet. There's a lot of things that has been shared on the internet, and not just that. I stated that so some of you can relate to what I'm talking about. But then we are living in the last days, and depending on when you see this video, there's going to be a list of things that will come upon the earth. I don't want to go too deep into it. As I continue to drop videos on this channel, we'll get to talk about these things. So there's a list of things that are about to befall the earth, and you're going to wish that you are living in the highest frequency vibration, the highest vibrational energy, or whatever word you want to use, which is love, which is charity. You see, the universe bends to the will of the man who loves. The universe bends to the will of the man who loves. Follow me. Love is the highest energy of being, seeking the aid of others, seeking the ease of others, bringing peace to men, being a father to the widow, you know, being a clothing to those who are without clothes, being a means of shelter to they who are homeless. It takes you to a place of being like a god. And like I was saying, in the days to come, you're going to need this. You're going to need to understand this. You're going to need to have accumulated this in your mind and in your body. I know when I say mind and body now, it's not looking absurd. We understand, we understood the explanations I gave. All true. So in the days ahead, this is the only thing that will save you. Not money, not influence, not properties. Although you can have properties as a result of love, which would also possess a certain energy level that can protect you. But that's another topic for another day. But the major point is your heart and your body, your essence. Everything that is external of you is just secondary. You are the primary being. So if you are operating in this frequency, you'd be kept safe from the woes that are about to befall the earth. You'd have the wisdom that is required to navigate what is about to befall the earth. So it's as simple as that. And that's basically what I wanted to share. So love is very needed in our generation. We must know what love is. We must then implement it, soak ourselves in it. Because according to the scriptures, God is love. So if you want to put yourself in his image, if you want to become more and more like him, you must learn to exhibit love. Jesus was speaking and he said, all the law is compounded in this one thing. Love your neighbor as yourself and love God with all your heart, all your soul, all your mind, and all your strength. So, I hope this video blesses us. I hope it blesses someone out there. I hope it blesses you who is watching right now. And God bless you for following through. So, thanks for watching. Subscribe to get a notification whenever a new teaching drops. And see you on the next video. Bye.